Good morning. Today is Saturday. It is, I believe, the 27th of October, and we are local today. Due to some personal drama, not anything horrible, but things going on that occupied my mental space during the week. Obviously didn't get to Vermont. I'm not going to drive up there without some kind of a plan, and I literally had none given the fact that we had a emotional roller coaster going on in other areas. I'm not going to get into that now because it's not really in line with the subject matter. But today we are local. We are going to do a loop on the high ground along a ridge line. Looking for sign, also being a little bit careful because I am sharing the greater area with at least one, if not two hunters. And you always have to be aware of that. That's about all we got going on so far, and we'll do video clips as we have things happen or occur to us. Come on along. We'll see where we are. We will have to obey some property line considerations with a land trust, but that is what it is. Allegedly, they have a retired cop that patrols the area, although I have literally never seen him or her, gender notwithstanding. And doesn't matter since I've always stayed on my side of the boundary, because Lord knows they were generous enough with their signage. You start seeing the signs every 40 feet, you know where you are. Although it's also kept me from getting lost once or twice. So there's that positive aspect of it. Anyway, that's the peeve of the week. And should there be anyone on Facebook who's also on the Bigfoot forums, one individual in particular comes to mind. If they are seeing that and they're going to make an argument for the chimp in advance, you're embarrassing yourself. And you should come to realize that. Because that's really how pathetic that comes off as. So, moving on. Anyway, that is my peeve of the week as I struggle to think of other things. Right now, from a forestry standpoint, we're in an area, if you look around, it hasn't been logged recently, but it has been logged. So this is kind of like, we call it regrowth forest after the timber harvest up this way. And therefore you get kind of a mixed, we're going through a patch of scrub brush like stuff now with the odd tree, but then it gets woodsy again, and then you get into fairly dense forest in the next band after that. That's where we're headed. I am going to take a segment break, having covered my initial topic. I'm gonna, one, cover some ground, two, kind of listen into the environment. It's kind of blustery today, so that's easier said than done, but we'll still try. And I may stop off at an area around the corner from here if the mood strikes me. I was wondering what the weather was doing, because typical of, in this case, foothill weather, not quite mountain weather, but same principle. A big dark cloud cluster was coming through, so I didn't know if that was gonna bring surprise rain or something with it, but it's blue sky again, so apparently not. And on the weather front, part of the reason I didn't head to Vermont today, not only due to the fact that literally had no plan, I also am a little drained from the drama of the week, emotionally, if I'm being honest. All I'll say is it involved real estate, and I'll leave it there. It's also real feel up there today, according to AccuWeather, about 25. And not quite, well, that plus the fact is, as far as it being like grouse season, I've probably mentioned this in another video. Last year, the beavers got busy and they dammed up a lot of stuff and caused a lot of flooding. And in the course of that, a lot of the adjacent potential nesting ground for grouse may well have gotten flooded out. Because I have not seen hide nor hair of a single grouse more than once this entire summer up there. So, unfortunately, that may be the reason for that, but if so, it's unfortunate. You might have to give it a year or two to balance out again. Hopefully new individuals come into the area if there's a vacuum of population. But we'll have to wait and see on that. I'm going to take my segment break at this point, navigate this stuff, which isn't really as daunting as it may look. And we will, as always, be back in a bit. Work out some kind of a purchase through them and have a look at it before you. Because the other option today, I'm going to finish up a CyberDeck build that, all things said, is going to probably come in, all things said, with all the moving parts and everything. I don't think I surpassed $150. And when everything's said and done, it's probably going to have a battery life combined at least somewhere between 15 and 18 hours of a multitude of battery banks for redundancy. And the I don't know if that would work that way. I'm thinking of something now. You've had a adapter that went one with that, then you get too many. And the problem with doing that is if you get too many adapters and you have multiple adapters going to multiple battery banks at once for redundancy, the problem with that, your constancy in voltage output is not steadily. There are certain bits of LoRaWAN technology I have that won't operate off a certain type of battery pack for that exact reason, because it doesn't get a steady state to the voltage levels that it needs. You'll learn these things along the way as you tinker. But when the build is done, it will have two different configurations, and I also have the other one, which is a CyberDeck with a solar panel. But then again, I was thinking, if you got the refurbished Toughbook and you actually had that plugged into a solar, all you'd have to do is put a camping solar panel on the back of it, which is not a hard thing to do. And you have functionally the same thing. A solar powered modified, which is really nothing more than the laptop thing of maybe cushioning foam, and then the solar panel and the cable to that plugging into a... But the thing I like about the CyberDeck option is you have more control over your plug types, and everything tends to be USB. So that is an argument in favor of that. So yes, the Toughbook would have more memory, but regardless, the battery life and the fact that the other one's literally in an ammo box, I would actually probably give the durability test to the CyberDeck. Although the build I'm doing today is probably meant to be more of an indoor model, but we will one thing at a time. I actually have two other power banks that are 40 milliamps that you could put in there back to back combined, and you do that and you basically have a solar capable pair of those with a solar panel in the back. Plug those in with a 3-pronged cable, which you do have. That's actually very workable now that I think about it. And you have wireless charging in the CyberDeck. I actually might want to look into that. That's not a bad idea, actually. Huh? That is not a bad idea. Or you just use it independent of it, because frankly, you have one side of the brick is the wireless charger, the other is the solar panel on. Actually not true with one. Actually not true of one. My secondary one, that's actually not true. If you got 2 of those, all your stuff is on one interface side, so that's an interesting idea. And then you got 80 milliamp hours. That's going to last you a while. Anyway, we're going to head down here. I'll take a brief segment break and decide whether or not I'm going to do an overland through this stuff back the way I came, sort of, but deeper down into the woodwork. And kind of do an assessment of that and feel out the environment, coupled with the fact that it's a potential Widowmaker day, because it is kind of blustery today. We're going to do that and do some pondering and take a segment break, as that's where I was leading with this, and we'll be back in a little bit. And yeah, we are back. As I was heading back out, pretty sure they're crows, but they made some interesting vocalizations that were just odd enough to make you wonder. I don't know if you can hear that over the wind, but they're off over there somewhere. God damn it. I feel like I got a bug on my head. I'm going to stop for a second. I'm going to check that out. I'll be back in a second. Okay, we're back. No bug on my head. But sure felt like it to me. Anyway, we are moving back to the top of what I'm... When you're walking, it seems like a mountain, but it's actually a foothill, but perception is 9/10 of something. But yeah, we're gonna walk around this to get back on the trail, and I don't really know what else I have to cover today. A little technical angst. The more I think about it, the more I think I'm going to stay on the path of the CyberDeck for the sake of having greater versatility in my options. I also figure that a refurbished Toughbook is also not going to have optimal battery life just because of the aging of the system. A CyberDeck, by its very nature, is more modular and can be, you can take pieces out and upgrade them kind of on the fly more, because your build is more avant-garde, for lack of a better term. As for Bigfoot today, you just keep having that damn Jacob's bear popping up, and there are people out there that want to pollute the narrative that it's something that it's not. And it's a bear. It's a mangy bear that's probably feeding by itself because it gets bullied by bears that are healthier and bigger. It's really... The notion that it's a chimp is comical. And people that are pushing that on the Bigfoot forums should be embarrassed. Anyway, unless something else creeps up on the way out, this will be the outro. So, like, subscribe, check out the live feed I did in here if you are so moved. I don't know how compelling that is either. It's me walking around in there and checking for a... Actually, I think I remembered where the deer stand. It's on the other side of this if you go down and in that way from way over there. It's been a while since I've looked for it though. So, again, like, subscribe, leave comments, suggestions, and unless we happen to run into the Monkey Man himself or something is equally compelling, we'll catch you the next time. Bye. The addendum. More of a reminder. I have posted about this in the past, but I just encountered them freshly out here. Deerkheads are out and about, and they are an invasive insect from China, believe it or not, and they look for all the world like winged ticks. They are not. They are actually insects, but they do bite and suck blood. A few times I've been bitten by them. They don't itch at all, so it's hard to tell if you've been bitten or not. But as of 2013, when I first encountered them and identified what they were, there weren't any known diseases applied to them. And I would think that the state DEP, in your case maybe DNR, would have a warning if that had changed. But be aware of them once they... The reason why is once they bite you, they're weird. Their wings will fall off, and then for all the world they look like little crabby looking tick things, although count the legs. They have 6. I guess I just brushed one off my head again, goddammit. They have 6 as opposed to an arachnid, which is a tick that has 8. And that is the difference. They also move a lot faster than ticks on average. That's another identifier, but as you walk through tall shit like this, you'll have to make sure that you look and see if you have any riding home with you, because they're sneaky like that. Anyway, they're out today, at least in this stretch of the Nutmeg State. So if you're in northern Connecticut, southern Mass, and you're out in the woods or outdoors today, be aware they're around. And, take the necessary caution. Being permethrin, DEET, that kind of thing. So until next time again, be aware of that. And we'll catch you next time. Again. Bye.